Okay, I think we're ready for part 2 of the lap counter Arduino software DIY home built. So hopefully this recording software I got going on here is going to help us. I'm going to click through just like I did the first time. Hopefully I'll remember all the clicks in the right sequence. But so to start out with, we're just going to search for the race coordinator software. There we go. Don't even have to remember how to spell it. Helping you out. And there it is. It's the first one, that racecoordinator.net. Go there. There's a bunch of good stuff to read here. And like I said before, y'all, this race coordinator software was dedicated to his son Noah, who he's lost. So do go, if you find this project useful in the end, do go back and send a donation for his valuable work he did. It wouldn't be possible without it. But right there you can see it's also linked to the ViaSue, which is that completed system I told you they got for like 220 something bucks, something like that. If you don't want to mess with all this stuff, I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. But still, if it's beyond your level to build the reed switch detectors, you might be better off with just buying a system from them. It's plug and play. I've seen people review it. It's kind of what motivated me to build one of my own. So here we go. So right here at the top of the page, you'll see all his tabs. Go to the download. First thing we're going to download is his latest version. That one right there, 10.10.2023. That is the version I downloaded on the laptop. Downloads pretty quick. It's not that huge. We're not going to install it just yet. We need the .NET 4 installer, right? And it goes right to the version that you need. If you click any of these others, you'll get confused. So once you got those two, we're ready to start. So if you're on an older Windows 7 build or something and you don't have the latest service packs, you might run into issues. It worked fine on my laptop that had Windows 7 Pro. You don't need that powerful of a computer. But we're going to do the .4 install now. Hopefully it'll go without a snag. You're going to allow the machine to do its thing. Looks pretty good so far. No errors. Okay, what's this saying? It's already part of the system, so I didn't actually need it. This is a Windows 10 PC, so we'll just close that. Hopefully it's still going to work fine. But you do need it on Windows 7 for sure. So the next thing, we'll go back to the downloads. We'll do the race coordinator. More info, and we're going to run it anyway. And if you have trouble running it, you might have to go to the file, right click it, and run it as an admin if you're logged on or have an admin login. So just agree, let it install it wherever it wants to. I believe it puts a icon on the desktop. So here we go. So it's going to launch the README and the race coordinator. So when I hit finish, that's going to pop up if it don't have issues. So here we go. It's already running. So I'm just going to, it's got tips that you can show at startup. I'm going to uncheck them, close this, and he's got a pre-built template going on here. I haven't looked into setting up Race Coordinator for custom track or anything. I just did the practice and stuff to test my layout. So I'm going to close it because we still need another piece of software. And I don't think the link is in this README. I found it in the Arduino file of his. So I'll just minimize that README. You'll see you have the Race Coordinator icon on the desktop. If you right click that, you can open the file location. This is all the files that Race Coordinator had put in there, right? So all your configs, a bunch of readmes here, but that ain't where you want to be yet. Go into the data folder and now into the Arduino. This is your this folder here, lap counter. That's the actual script that gets written into the Arduino itself, right? So we're going to look at this README. I'm pretty sure he has a link in this README, and he does, right? You got to go to the get starting pages there. I don't think but this is a picture, real good README. That's the actual Arduino that I showed you in the last video, and he has detailed connectivity, right? He's got lap sensors with light here, photo sensors, LED outputs for indications. I haven't hooked that up yet. Then here's my connection. This is the read switch. You see the read switch and the resistor I built, the network I built and glued into that piece of track. And he's showing 10k ohm resistor. I told you I use 6.8k ohm resistors. They work fine. Here's a connection for a dead strip. I wouldn't bother going down that direction unless you're very competent and competent. Got slotted sensors for bigger track. The 132 people would do something like this. They have large flags, guide pin things. Okay, so he doesn't have a direct link to the software we need. So hopefully I'm going to be able to figure that out. We're going to click on this Arduino homepage. And hopefully I'll remember exactly what we need. Instructions for the boards. There's instructions for the individual boards. And that one is the Uno, right? But you need to install this Arduino Desktop IDE is what they're calling it. That's the interface program for Windows is what we want. It's going to take us over here. And it's got detailed things, detailed deals, the way to use it. It was pretty easy to follow, right? So we're gonna hopefully find that download here in just a second. I didn't think it was that complicated. Install, okay, IDE 2 on Linux, no. Installation on, nah, I didn't want that. Let's just say, okay, go to, from the software page. So click on Arduino IDE. Y'all saw that, right? I'll go back and do it again. I was kind of quick. So that was the first page that he linked to. And then it tells you, and then I clicked on the instructions. All right, let me do that. Let me back up again. So this was the first page that was linked from that PDF. Then I clicked on Windows because that's the system I'm using. And then I clicked on downloading and installation, right? And it told me to go to the software page. Now we're on the software page. Windows 10 and newer. They also had, before, I believe I clicked on the Windows MSI installer. I think that's for the older version. But right now we're on Windows 10, so that's what I'm clicking. Right? You can give them a donation, which is probably not a bad idea if you find this useful. Or you can just download. Okay. No, I just want to download. And here it goes. That's it running right there. So it's going to take a little while. I'm going to pause this while that downloads. Alright, so now it's happy we downloaded that. We're going to go ahead and open that file and install the Arduino IDE for Windows. Is it mad again? Why is it bipping at me? I agree. Make it was a little easier on the Windows 7. It's mad again. Say, yep, it's okay. I agree. And it's going to put it where it puts it. Pretty sure it puts a icon on the desktop. And that first page that had them instructions that tells you all about using this Arduino IDE. But I'm going to go ahead and run it and show you how simple it is. As soon as it's done, I could pause again. I don't remember how long that took last time, but I'll pause it to save a little time on the video. Alright, so it says it's completing setup, auto run the IDE when I click finish, so it's going to launch. So let me minimize the download pages we had. Here's the little app. But before we run anything on it, we got to move copy a folder. Of course, it's asking me about access. I'm going to allow. Alright, so this is the basic program running. What you would do, you click a file and you would open one. And when you say open one, it's going to go to where it keeps these sketches, right, under the Arduino folder. Right now there's nothing in there, but we're going to go put something in there. I'm going to yeah, it's still got more stuff to install, so we'll let it finish installing. It's installing the drivers so that you can read the USB. Yeah, we're always trusting it. I already said, let's go. Yes. So, depending on the version, see us doing things back there in the background. It's trying to look, but I haven't connected to Arduino yet. But right now, you can just leave that. You can minimize that one. We'll leave it minimized. And what we got to do is right-click the Arduino shortcut on the desktop. That IDE will open a file location. In here, you'll see resources. Ah, goodness. Locales. No. Well, I thought it had a folder called libraries. Let me go back to the program again. File. Open. Well, let me make it easy. We're going to go to, I could have swore it had a subfolder called libraries in there. Maybe it doesn't do it until you generate one. But at any rate, we can go to the lap counter folder that we had minimized. And again, that's in, if you got to find it, you right click race coordinator. Right? I'm gonna go ahead and do that so that you can re-find it again. If you just minimized it like I did, it should be sitting on the taskbar. But we're going to open the file location, go to the data, go to Arduino, go to lap counter. So it doesn't need this PDF, but we'll leave it alone. What you're going to do is right click the lap counter and copy that folder, right? So we'll put that folder right here on the desktop. So we got a copy of the race coordinator firmware for the Arduino. Now back over to that sketch, IDE sketch, right? There's no sketches here. We're going to look for that file, open, right? And it is looking under art. Well, you know, I could have just put it in that folder. But what I'll do is, since I put it on the desktop, I'll just go to the desktop, and there it is. Double click it, and then you see it recognizes it as an appropriate firmware file. We'll double click that. And here it is. Now it's telling us to select a board because we don't have a board yet, right? So at this stage of the game, if you have your Arduino, you got your USB cable connected, you're going to plug it in. And it's right now getting ready. Should have gave me a little message saying where it was. See if we can see it. So select board. That looks like it right there. Arduino Uno. That's us. COM9. So we'll pick that. Seems to be happy with that, right? First thing you're going to do is verify. You're going to this check mark here on the left. That goes through and does a checksum on the software. In this, all this script is the actual firmware that's going to be loaded to our Arduino. So you check it, and you can see the progress there. It's going through. Didn't give us any nasty grams, so it's all right. Right? Next step is upload. That right arrow button. Now I'm not going to upload it because it's already got that in there. I don't know if it's okay to do it more than once. I suspect it's alright. But since it's already loaded, that's the end of this part of the video. So the next part of the video, right, since we hooked up the Arduino, we downloaded all the software, we loaded the Arduino, so now it's ready to communicate with the race coordinator software. So I can close this now, right? Because we don't need the IDE program. The Arduino IDE, which is that icon there, the race coordinator which is right there. And since I got that plugged in, I'll go ahead and run race coordinator right quick. And we'll see. It should see the Arduino board. We might have to tell it where it is. But it's going to be under track setup. Expert track setup. Right? And we're going to pick Arduino. And we're going to click configure. And right there, it's not showing a connection. But here's one right there. I highlighted COM9. I double click it. And down here we got accept, right? We have a green light right there. So it sees it, which means it sees an Arduino with the appropriate software. It's identified right here in the Arduino hardware. The Uno, that's the one we got. You could probably use the Mega, but I chose the Uno because it was in his README file, so I figured I'd have the least amount of problems. The ViaSU hub, that's if you bought that ViaSU package with the detectors and everything already built, that's what you would get. You'd get a ViaSU hub. So the software does the same thing that ViaSU does. It's just we homebrewed it, right? So we're accepting the connection, right? I need to go back there though, but actually we'll do the rest of this when I hook it up to the track, because I got it set up. Those resistors are, when the switch closes, takes the voltage down to the ground, so it basically shorts that pin out to ground and register. It triggers a lap on a low, a digital low. Invert relays, invert LEDs, we don't have any of those hooked up. That could probably be a part 4 or 5 of this tutorial if you're interested in additional connections. But right now, the software and the Arduino is loaded. So if you followed along here and you got these results, you're looking good. We're not going to talk any more about the software for now until I got it on the track. So that's where it's going to be. Hopefully this isn't difficult to understand, but as a I'm going to unplug the Arduino, right, just to show you. If you go to the configure page right now, it's showing red, no connection, right? And now it's done gave us I'm a little bit pissed off message. There is no COM port connected, right? So there's another positive test. And like I said in my other, where I was testing it on the first setup I had, I used a standard parallel or a printer cable USB. It's that style connector on there, and it probably wasn't shielded good enough, and I lost connection after about, I don't know, 100 and something laps. But and it could have been my laptop triggered it. I don't know. I'll have to test a little further. But that's where we're at. We're closing this out. I don't care about saving that right there. You would want to save your track setup before you exited normally. So that's where we're at, y'all. Hopefully this has been clear enough. Let me know if you got any questions. And it's a beer 30 now. All right.